Episode 2, baby.
All right.
And today we're going to talk about Sagittarius season.
Yes, one of the most optimistic signs, fiery, fun, hopeful.
That's
playful.
how you know this episode is going to be great, because we're going to be talking about Sagittariuses.
And a lot of positivity, really. I mean,
so
it's
much
hard
positivity.
Almost toxically sometimes, but it depends on who's listening. Anyway.
Yes. Okay, we'll get back to that.
Okay.
Before we get into all the Sagittarius stuff, we just finished a Mercury retrograde.
I think you might know a little bit more about retrogrades than I do, other than I understand Mercury is the planet of communication, and it rules Virgo and Gemini, the sign that gives me chills. And when it's in retrograde, it means it's going backwards. So, passing it on to you.
Yeah, so they say that during this time, things might be a little foggy, things might be a little bit more complicated, the communication might not be great, there's a lot of room for miscommunication, issues traveling, getting from like point A to point B, technology.
I heard that with issues traveling. I was like, wow, I guess the planets, they do have energetic power and a pull. I mean, the moon controls the waves.
And even like electronic devices. They also say, another thing they say is you shouldn't sign any contracts during Mercury retrograde.
Or the eclipses.
Yeah.
It's interesting. If we take into account numerology and Kabbalah and astrology and all this, we basically... they will all cancel each other out, and then you basically never be able to like sign anything or make any big choices.
Or maybe they all say the same thing.
They could, yes, there could be a lot of
overlap.
Yeah, overlap.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The other thing that Mercury retrograde is very famous for is exes coming back.
I've heard about this, but I heard that more in a Venus retrograde, like someone romantic, because Venus represents like beauty and romance, and then Mercury is just like something from the past, a communication, an old communication coming in.
Yes, but I mean in that it could be exes. I think it's also
it's all inclusive.
I think it's also about lessons, and I think a lot of lessons are learned in relationships. And so it is, and Virgo, so you mentioned it rules Virgo, and Virgo's the planet of like, it's the healer, like mind, body, soul connection. So I think Mercury retrograde is also the time where a lot of these lessons come back to be like, okay, you worked on this. Did you really learn your lesson?
Whoa, hold on.
Yes.
On what planet is Virgo known to be the healer? Am I literally somewhere else right now? Because I pride myself on knowing almost, I don't want to use the word everything, that's like all assuming, but a lot about every sign, especially what they symbolize.
Google it. My North Node is in Virgo.
Oh, my South Node is.
And Virgos are a lot about healing.
But
it's
aren't
about
they
the mind, body, soul connection.
Mind, body, soul connection? Really? I always sought Virgo to be like it's a dual sign, Virgo, Virgin, and Vixen. So there's a pure side, but there's also a very, very dark side that's very hypercritical and needs to transcend itself.
But that's because they have an ideal, like, they really strive for perfection, and they want.
Sounds painful, not healing, doesn't it?
It is. It is
healing to strive for perfection.
But Virgos heal others, like
that. Okay, I could see that.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
Like Virgos are the ones that like. Yes, they are hypercritical and all of these things, but it also makes them the ones that are able to like. They're really only hypercritical because they want you to be perfect and they want you to succeed, and they also, as hypercritical as they are to you, that's not even like a tenth of what they are to themselves.
Oh, I know that.
And so they really are the healers because they're able to see, like they're able to spot a problem. They're able to figure out what needs to be fixed. Because they look
for the discrepancy. Here's the thing. I had an Instagram post a long time ago. I archived it because my social media manager was like, you're all over the place. Like, are you a coach? Are you a therapist? Are you this? Like, you're not an astrologer. So in my Virgo post, I got a lot of likes on it. I was like, Virgo is an excellent partner in the workplace. And they usually take the role of person in health, like any sort of health establishment, medical, they're amazing because they love
Yes.
acts of service.
Healers.
They love you're right. Okay, fine. You're right. As I'm explaining this, I'm realizing, oh yes, they are the healers. It's so weird though, and I said they are so kind and nurturing in the workplace. They make the best nurses, doctors, because they literally they make the best fucking surgeons because they're like, oh, that's a little bit crooked. I need to fix this.
Yeah.
But to their partners, I'm sorry, and to themselves, they're really fucking critical and sometimes a pain to be around because they can be negative Nancy's romantically.
So my first heartbreak and greatest, I think, like, teacher of a relationship was with a Virgo.
Okay.
And it's true that they held me to a very, very, very high standard.
Yeah.
And they were very much like, they kind of like delineated the boundaries that I wasn't allowed to cross. And like, they did expect me to be perfect. I mean, I can't.
They made you feel that way.
I felt like I had to be perfect all the time. And like I couldn't slip.
Yes.
But I mean, I learned a lot of lessons through that relationship. And
You're saying it was constructive, yeah.
Yeah. And I think overall it was pretty great. But I do want to point out, I Googled it. So Virgo zodiac sign, the earthly healer and sacred servant. That's what it is.
Yeah, acts of service. They love to serve.
Acts of service. They love to do things. The practical problem solver and systematic healer.
Okay. Yeah, so yes, you said that. Originally I was like, wait, are you sure? Then I'm like, wait a second. A lot of them are in the exactly. I will say something. I had an ex that was a Virgo, which is a doctor. And she used to, they are so in alignment with like acts of service being their number one love language. Like how they love to give it and how they love to receive it. She would get mad at me because she said I didn't love her because I didn't go pick up her dry cleaning, because I didn't take her car for an oil change, because I didn't, like, I would load the dishwasher, but I wouldn't unload it. And I'm like, this is weird. I feel like you kind of want a housekeeper or like a personal assistant more than you want like a romantic partner, because I would write her poetry and I would look into her eyes and we'd have really good sex and I was like the giver and I liked giving and I'm like, wait a second, I'm doing all the things that my moon in Libra deems as like really romantic and poetic and soft. But Virgo really appreciates like the practical, the earthy, like show up for me, like go do tasks, exhaust yourself. I don't know. Maybe it's So anyway, we're talking about Sag and now we're on Virgo.
Well, that's why. Well, we're gonna go into Sag, but we talked about Virgo because of Mercury.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, thank you.
So bringing lessons for healing. That's how we got there.
Yes. Yes.
We went on a little tangent. So I must ask, any exes come back into your life? Any lessons that you feel like you've previously learned that came back to haunt you during this time? We're out of it now.
This specific retrograde?
Yeah, from November 9th to the 29th.
Interestingly, Scorpio that I dated, who I met after I did my first and psychedelic, like shamanic healing journey. I don't know what the hell, like I planned the date 2 days before the shamanic healing. I had no idea what I was in for. I didn't know like my chakras would be open for like 48 hours and I would feel things 10 times more intensely than normal. I had no idea, but I am so strongly not a flake, and flakiness is so my pet peeve, that I kept the date, despite still having some of the specific protocol blend of psychedelics that my shaman made for the first time ever in my life in my system that were not fully out of my system. And of course I Ubered to the date and everything. My God. So this person, Sun in Scorpio, no Virgo really, Moon in Aries, a lot of fieriness, and Venus in Scorpio, and I just loved intensive, like, we talked about intensity and like just, you want to go to another world. We met And she just held my hand and was like, is there anything on your mind and heart that you need to share? Like, without us even...
when was this? When was this meeting?
No.
This was
that's our initial meeting.
Oh my God.
That's our initial date. No. That was our initial
the
date.
first
And
time
I'm
you
like,
met.
this is why I love dating, like, therapists or people that should be therapists and are not. So I was like, what makes you ask? And she's like, I don't know. I just feel like you recently, like, you know, had a realization or something. Like, she was so in tune with me. And I basically not faked with her, but as part of my shamanic ceremony, it showed me the funeral of my grandmother that was still alive. Mm-hmm. But I needed to grieve and experience that so I could let go of staying in LA, actually, because that I wanted to stay and take care of her all the time, and I was obsessed with making sure, like, nothing bad would happen to her. Mm-hmm. So my dream was always to go to New York. Didn't do it because of that, and I was so afraid of something happening to her if I left. Anyway, I ended up sharing that with, her name is Marion. I ended up sharing that with Marion, and she started crying with me. And she's like, I totally feel your heart. Like, it's so beautiful. And I'm so, like, but it wasn't like a pity cry. It was like I'm here in the dark with you. Mm-hmm. I mean, and it helped that we were in a really sexy, like, Hotel Le Petit Hermitage, like, in West Hollywood. It was beautiful. I don't want to start rambling too much about this, but our dynamic was very poetic and romantic. And, I mean, this is someone who says, like, I see oceans of waves in your eyes and just your... I mean, she would write me poems. It was just so beautiful. Aww. Anywho, we didn't work out. There was too much of, like, and I was never told that I'm a realist, but, like, realist and dreamer proponent there. And so I ended up calling it off, and she recently reached out to me a couple of days ago, very poetically again, and sharing one of the songs that she said reminded her of me. So yes, I mean, it's interesting. And I've had a close friend of mine always tell me, like, oh, it's Venus in retrograde, it's Mercury in retrograde, has anyone from the past come back? And anytime they ask, I'm like, oh yeah, someone did come back. But I'm like, is that because it's the retrograde? And I know it's weird. We, like, have this astrology podcast, and I'm kind of, like, shitting on the thing that we believe in. You know what I mean?
No, but I mean, you're allowed to have your doubts and question.
I'm like, or maybe just a lot of exes just like to come back.
The thing is, so... maybe I can shed some light on it.
Please!
This retrograde, I was the ex that went back.
Oh, okay! Tell me, did it feel like you just couldn't help it and there was a magnet pulling you?
Yes!
Okay.
That's exactly what it felt like. It was just like, I don't know, like all of a sudden things got, like, so cloudy and foggy, and it's like my emotions and my feelings, like, I could not fight them, and I, like, needed to speak to this person. I couldn't not. And it's funny because even when I spoke to them, they were like, you know, like, are you going through a hard time right now? Like, is that what it is?
What
like,
is it? Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I've literally been the happiest I've ever been.
And was it that you wanted to get back with them, or you just felt a craving and you needed to kind of, like, satiate it?
So our situation, like, I know that we can't. That's not what I was reaching out about. Like,
okay.
It's not a situation where I was like, I need to be back with you right now. Mm-hmm. That's not the case. Maybe it's like unfinished conversations, and, like, maybe there's more lessons that I need to learn within that. But I did feel like I just needed to speak to this person.
Okay, wait. So that, like, sprouts something in me.
Yeah.
Like a retrograde, Mercury retrograde makes you feel like you're craving to speak to someone from the past that was significant to you.
That was my personal experience. I don't know if that specific wording is what is usually said about Mercury retrograde, but that is how I felt. Like, okay. I was reaching out, like, not even knowing what I was gonna say, what was gonna happen. It was just like I have to speak to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because then the other part of me wonders, well, do you only have that pull in retrograde because you have unfinished business? Like, Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah,
Because
I think that's part of it. Like the cycle of like the lessons coming back. It's because there is a little bit of unfinished business.
yeah, I would imagine, because if there wasn't, then you can just like pick up and call whenever, or it probably wouldn't even have that like mystere of like, oh, I shouldn't and I can't, and it's an ex, and it's kind of like if the break.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it wouldn't even be a big deal.
This could so easily become like an exes podcast too. I'm like, oh, we're sticking to astrology. It's just interesting. Like, we're both like, oh, it's the one we could have been with, but we didn't. And
we'll have plenty of time to discuss exes. And
I'm sure we will.
Past relationships. Well, and the perfect segue is that ex that I reached out to is a Sagittarius.
Oh, great!
So that leads us right into Sagittarius season.
All right.
So, London, we'll have you first describe the sign to us. How would you describe Sagittarius?
Okay, so I'll start with the really, really positive stuff. Sag is like the ultimate traveler. They are the philosopher of the zodiac. Like, they're constantly mentally curious and want to learn about the world around them because they enjoy actually learning about culture, about people, just gaining higher knowledge, or they're bored, and they're very easily bored, and they're inherently
extremely easily
yes.
bored.
I love how you say it like you're talking to your ex. Like, you, whatever his name is, are extremely easily bored, and you need
he
to
knows that. He would say that. He says that about himself. He's aware.
See?
But yes, it's always like, I'm bored. I'm bored.
And this is why they attract, I'm not saying this about you. This is why they tend to attract toxic partners. Because they need the fiery fun, and they have an internal restlessness that makes it so that they physically want to pick up and leave, and go. They're a fire sign. They want to just pick up and leave,
and they will if you're not like engaging with them in the way that they want you to engage,
or down
with
to
them.
Spontaneously travel, or like speaking on their like philosophical level, right? But because. And they tend to be like the nomads of the sign.
And I will say, never mind. That's the next question.
Okay.
I'll save it.
We'll get there.
Yes.
They tend to be kind of like nomadic and all of that because they can make home anywhere in the world, and to them it's more important. But most stable individuals, when I say stable, I mean like people that are more traditional and kind of want to like build a traditional family home.
Like a Virgo.
Yes. And it's interesting because like Jay-Z and Beyonce are like Virgo and Sag are interestingly attracted to each other.
I didn't know Jay-Z was a Sag.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I feel like I remember.
But it's an odd pairing. It really is. Like they don't. Anyway, let's put that to the side right now. So when you really want something like traditional and a Sag doesn't, a Sag knows that like they're supposed to stay home and be with the family and all this, but because they already feel such internal restlessness, they tend to come off insensitive to someone who is more traditional or irritated and like, oh, you're no fun. Saggies say a lot of the times like, oh, that's no fun, or you're no fun, or like just like lighten up. Like Saggies always will say like, oh, you're like, don't rain on my parade. They're very, very optimistic, positive, almost to the point where if you show them like the like interest rate on something is continuing to go up and up and up, they'll almost still invest in something. Like they'll just be like, oh no, it'll get better. Like they're not really logical even when like the logic is presented to them.
But it works in their favor.
Because they're always kind of lucky.
They're so lucky.
They are.
This is what I was going to add. I like saw this somewhere, and I think it's totally true. That it's true in the sense that it makes sense why someone would say this. Not necessarily that. Okay, so what I saw was the universe's favorite sign is Sagittarius. Like it feels like Sagittarius is the universe's favorite sign because luck is always on their side. They go through life without a care in the world. Everything always works out for them. And anything that they do, they're good at it. It doesn't matter what they do. They're going to be good at it.
You're right. And you know what? They don't always have the same definition of everyone else's definition or like the majority's definition of success. They have their own little version of it. And because I think, I'm like not minimizing them, but because they tend to not have like huge expectations of things,
It always works out better in their, like, it
they're always
always
like,
turns
see,
out
it
good.
worked out.
Yeah.
And
better than they imagined.
Exactly.
Yeah. Also, I think also, you know how they say that in order to manifest and accomplish your dreams and do all these things,
You went to where I was going.
how you have to kind of be delusional and like not care about the logic and just like believe and do it. Like that's how Sagittariuses are. Like they literally don't even consider for a moment that things could like not work out.
It's funny, I was going to get philosophical for a moment right before you said that. I'm like, are they so lucky because they are like delusionally positive and that's why they're like the best manifestors?
Yes.
Or is it just because their sign in some way jives with like the planet, because it's ruled by Jupiter.
That's what I was going to say. It's Jupiter.
Luck, expansion, whatever.
It's a combination of all the things.
So maybe it just is the combination of all the things that makes it easy for them to be so happy-go-lucky so that they do get everything. Close to everything that they really...
The other thing I was going to ask is, yes, they're a very they're a very spiritual sign. Like, they're the kind of sign that'll, like, research every religion just because, like, they want to know.
You're right. And they won't discount the woo-woo either. They'll take it into consideration.
All the things. Yeah, it's more about the learning and the mental curiosity, like you said.
Than judgment.
They're also a sign that will likely, in their lifetime, like, a lot of Sagittariuses go on to complete, like, further studies. So, like, PhDs, higher education, exactly, PhDs. What else? It also... So... The sign, like we mentioned, is ruled by Jupiter, which is the planet of luck, expansion, growth. And also, it's the house that it rules is the 9th house, which is the house of, like, the beyond and higher education. And so it's opposite the 3rd house. So the 3rd house rules, like, things that are close along with other things. But it's, like, the nearby, like... Not the home, because that's the 4th house.
Is it communication at the 3rd house?
It's communication, but also things that are, like, local to you.
Oh.
Whereas the 9th house is, like, the beyond. So I remember in my chart, there was a placement for the time that my ex and I met. And I went to get my birth chart read. And he was like, oh, you have... I can't remember exactly what the placement was, but he was like, this placement, like, you met this person not at home. Like, you were beyond.
Traveling or somewhere
Traveling
else.
And also in the university. Not traveling.
Oh, in a place of study.
In a place of study.
You can pinpoint that in the chart. It's so true.
Yeah, and university is considered higher education. And I went to NYU, which is in New York, obviously, and I grew up in Miami. And we had both grown up in Miami. And we didn't meet in Miami. We met in New York.
That is very interesting.
Yeah. So that like, always kind of like blows my mind.
That is very mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Wow. I have to say, I love a good Sag, and I have to be realistic. They do have, not a lot, but 1, 2, or 3 negative traits at least that come to mind. Not more than that for me, because I do really love a good Sag.
I want to say, when it comes to astrology, the way that I learned it was... There's no good and bad. There's no positive or negative.
Thank you.
There's just like a higher vibration and then a lower vibration. So even when we say negative, it's more so that the sign is just not vibrating at its highest frequency.
It hasn't evolved yet.
And we all have those days.
Totally. We have
those days.
Or we have those characteristics that need to be transmuted into positive and we need to evolve and work through. So
what were you going to say?
Life's a soul school. And we're here to
we are.
Evolve our souls. I was going to say with Sag, so the unevolved sides, I'll just put it like that, and you have the...
Yeah.
You said low frequency, right? Is that because the technical symbol for Sag is half human, like the archer, and half horse, sometimes they forget about humanity in that people are sensitive, people have feelings, people have emotions. When you are half horse, quotes, air quotes, you're not really in touch with the intrinsic depth and complexity of emotion. Emotions are a little bit more just like primitive. Good, bad, happy, sad, get on with it. Kind of just like a horse that just goes fast forward or runs away. There is no, let's talk about feelings. What's going on? I can understand how you feel this way. At most, they would philosophize the emotions and try to create an emotion as a thought. Aquarius likes to do this too. Mm-hmm. And at best, I would say the evolved version of Sag would really have learned, unless they have prominent water sign in their chart, to sit and understand not everybody processes things the way that they do. And I think logic would help them see that. Like, oh, we are all different. Duh. Like, other people are emotional and they don't really get judgy. So they're like, okay, it's not good or bad. It just is. Okay, I must learn how to work with that type of personality, really. Yeah. So I would say I don't want to put it in this way, but insensitivity at times.
I would add also commitment issues.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I think a Sag, because of the qualities that we talked about, like gets bored easily, is always like restless within themselves.
Yes.
Needs something new and exciting and like, I don't know, engaging for their mind and things like that. Not to say that every Sag is going to have commitment issues or be a cheater, but I think...
That's the way you say it.
But... that is one of the low frequency possibilities with this sign, as with any sign, but this sign in particular, that seems to be, and not even in terms of cheating, like even just like we said, the settling down. It's like they know that that's like a thing that maybe they want, but the actual practicality of like doing it, no. Like for example, marriage is something that...
Sag is always the last time to get married. Every time. I've gone to a doctor's office. I've gone to, I don't know, a grocery store, and I've talked to someone that seems so positive and upbeat. I'm like, you're so positive and upbeat, and I'm not trying to judge, but you look like someone who's, you know, like in their later years in life. Like, what's the secret? They're like... no marriage and no kids and travel. I'm like, are you a Sag? You're like, oh, how'd you know? Like, literally, that has happened so many times. Sorry, I cut you off.
That is the point. Absolutely. Yeah. I think marriage is kind of like the last thing on their mind.
It is.
Which is not always a bad thing. Like, I think it's inspiring to see how dedicated to themselves they are and how focused they are on achieving these things. And I think in my experience, I have experienced a little bit of selfishness with the Sagittariuses that I know, but it's a quality that I learned from. Like, I think, so one of the biggest lessons I think that I learned in my last relationship was how to be selfish.
Oh, so you needed it. That's why you drew in a Sag as a Cancer, which is very interesting.
Well, also
rising in Sag, I remember. Mm-hmm.
And I am down for all the spontaneity.
I
love Sagittariuses, and my childhood best friend is a Sagittarius. Like, I just love the excitement, the spontaneity, the creativity.
Where is Sag in your chart?
First house.
Duh, I'm sorry. We just said
the rising. Yeah.
Because I'm like, where? But doesn't that technically make... it makes other Saggies attracted to you because they see almost like an image, because rising or ascendant is how we present to the outside, like our public persona. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the times people are drawn narcissistically, but not like in a put-down way. It's more like seeing an image of themselves and someone else and like, oh my God, we're so similar, I'm drawn to you. Like, it's not a bad thing.
I do feel inspired by them to like that carefree attitude.
But
it like rubs off on me.
It does, but did they find you or you find them?
In terms of like who seeks who?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I've only been romantically in a relationship with one Sagittarius, and that was my ex. And I will say that, like, from the moment I saw him, I was like, oh, like, I knew. And we didn't get together. It was years until we got together.
This is some soul contract stuff.
It is. It so
definitely,
is.
Definitely.
It so is.
Wow.
But literally the moment I saw him, I was like, yeah.
Okay.
And we didn't get together for 4 years later. And we weren't even...
Wow.
During that time, so when I met him, he was dating someone else.
Okay. So it makes sense why things didn't take off right away.
Yes.
Obviously.
And then COVID pandemic happened. I moved back to Miami.
Okay.
So we weren't even in the same city, state,
yeah,
far away from each other. Every once in a while, it was like an Instagram comment here or there. Until we started writing each other love letters.
Okay, this is really romantic.
And that's the thing about Sagittarius. Like, they're not afraid of going there with you.
No, they're not. They're not.
And I really, like, I feel like they motivate me and they push me, and, like, their happy-go-lucky attitude and, like, what can go wrong attitude, like, rubs off on me, and I love it.
I will say I've had the same, very, very similar experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Not like, oh, soul contracty, we were meant to be together and it was so serendipitous, but Saturn is in my 4th house of the home. Mm-hmm. And so is my Uranus in Sag, and it's also in the 4th house. So Uranus represents like anything unpredictable and just sudden. Anything else I'm missing about Uranus?
Unconventional.
Yeah, because it's like ruled by Aquarius, no?
It's the ruler of Aquarius. Yeah. So unconventional, technology, revolutionary, like wants to stir things up. Mm-hmm. So that's in your home, in the 4th house of home.
My friends have joked that like I constantly would break my leases and move to a different place.
Oh my god.
And it's literally like Saturn in the 4th house in Sag. Saturn is the father, the disciplinarian, where you need to learn your lesson. Mm-hmm. And I constantly had this, and it's so in alignment with my childhood. I had a really like anxiously attachment bred environment, home environment. It was never stable. So I never felt like I could be stable at home in my own home. Mm-hmm. And so I kind of, interestingly, I created that through like my own behavioral psychology, you know, all that, but also astrologically, like every astrologer was like, ooh, like finding home for you physically is going to be like it's going to just be a constant moving of sorts. And I'm like, this is exactly how I felt my whole life.
And that's like, where you have Sag. Right. 4th house in Sag.
So that's, you know, but I will say this. Marriage aspects that I've researched involve Saturn to someone's personal planets, which personal planets is either Sun, Moon, Venus, etc. Those main 3, and rising. Anytime I have met a Sag, I'm not trying to brag because they're the hardest sign to pin down. They all want to commit to me.
Wow.
I swear, every Sag I have dated has always said, yeah, it's really, really scary for me. I've been on like a bunch of dates with like different people, and no, like I just can't see myself like getting into a serious commitment. But London, there's something about you that just like, I'm not afraid of committing to you. Like this has been said to me by at least 6 Sagittariuses that I've dated. In
That's crazy.
No joke. And they are the hardest to pin down.
I know. I've only been with one Sagittarius, and I don't think I don't think I would. I mean, who knows?
It depends where your Saturn is.
I think that's the only Sagittarius.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. The interesting
took a lot out of me.
No, I totally get it, and I will say this: like they tend to get into relationships. I've never actually been in a relationship with a Sag. It turned out like me feeling like they were so eager to be with me, which is weird for a Sag.
Yeah.
Made me not want to, and I'm like, you guys would be so great together. But I think somewhere in my heart, I knew they wouldn't be sensitive enough to my Venus in Cancer.
Yeah, well, and that's where, like, the other placements in the chart really come in. And I think we've talked about that, too. It's like, you know, it's a combination of all the things. It's not just the sun placement. The birth chart really is, like, a fingerprint. And there's so much more to someone than their sun sign.
Yep.
So let that be the disclaimer. Okay. We kind of just talked about this.
We just talked about our dating history.
But we're introducing a new segment called Dating History. And we're going to talk about the times that we've dated a Sagittarius or been romantically involved with a Sagittarius.
You just did?
I just did. That was, yeah, when we met, it was like, this is it. And I wasn't sure, like, how it was going to play out, but it eventually did. Mm-hmm. And I will say I was never bored. Always kept me guessing, whether that was always in the funnest way. No. Mm-hmm. It wasn't always the most fun.
Because it wasn't stable, probably.
Well, and I think sometimes not all the things that happened to make it not boring were healthy. Like you mentioned toxic at one point. Mm-hmm. I think sometimes, I think a Sagittarius will use every tactic in their disposal to make sure that they're not bored.
I will say I keep hearing this like voice of a girl that I dated a long time ago, like I'm talking like 8+ years ago, who is a Sag, and she kept saying, she was so cute, she was like, she had like a Lebanese accent but was raised in South Africa, like it was just, she had like a really cute mixed accent, and she was like, London, I don't know why, I just keep meeting crazy after crazy. And I knew that she wasn't judging and saying that, like making it up, and I knew she wasn't like a narcissistic-y, like mean, cold-hearted person. I knew that she was genuinely like an innocent receiver of like being love bombed and like experiencing either, again, like relationships with narcissistic types. I don't want to like label anybody fully because we can't give diagnoses here. Right. Or people that might have like borderline-y traits where they suddenly just will idealize someone by barely knowing them.
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't know what it is, and I just keep getting burned, and every time I get burned, I keep trying to figure out what it is, and then it happens again. And it's like, that's what Sages do. They don't stay long enough in their emotions to really be like, to get to an intuitive place. It's always like, let me figure it out. Why were they like this? Did I do anything to upset them? Well, not really, so it doesn't make sense. But if they were more...
I've literally heard those exact words. Like, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. I can't figure it out. Yeah. That's because they had to sit with their own intuition and feeling. And this is segueing me into, I feel like they're honestly, in a lot of ways, the innocent receivers of a lot of emotional abuse.
Sagittarius?
They are, from my experience. Maybe you've had a different experience, but they are on the receiving end of a lot of emotional and verbal abuse, because they tend to overlook red flag behaviors because to them it's just fun, fiery, impulsive like them.
But I feel like they do that because they also partake in that. Like, they like that.
They like intensity and impulsivity, just not in romance. But because they like it in general and they can't have enough of it in their lives, or else they would literally be a nomad.
Yeah.
They accept it in the relationship and then don't realize why they're accepting it. It's like they have this big part of them that needs to be fed, and they can only feed half.
Yeah.
So anyway, my point is, I've dated a lot of Saggies, and I never ended up saying yes to when they asked me to commit, because my intuition told me, you won't be happy and fulfilled. You'll feel like you have a best friend that you can have fun with, that you have good sex with. But you won't have that deep, innate understanding of your emotions. And that's why you're a lesbian. You want to feel emotionally understood and seen.
Interesting.
For me.
Another Sagittarius that I was, like, we didn't date, but was romantically, well, it's hard to say romantically involved also. But I will say this person is a serial monogamist.
Okay, wow.
But not with just one person. It's like, okay, monogamous with one person at a time, but goes from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship.
That sounds like Libra too. Okay.
And it overlaps sometimes.
Okay, that's the insensitivity part. Okay.
And I was caught, definitely... Oh God, I'm like having PTSD.
Oh, that's okay. I can ground you.
I thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So like there have been moments where kissing has occurred between me and this person while they were in a relationship, and I remember this was like in high school.
Okay.
And I forgot to mention that. And I remember I went to an all-girls Catholic high school, and one day they were like, oh, we're doing confession during lunch. Like, everyone needs to go to confession, and they really make it seem like you should go to confession.
Okay. Like, you have a lot of sin for, like, a high schooler. Okay.
And so I go to confession, and I tell this priest, and I'm like, oh, I'm feeling so bad because, you know, this person kissed me, and I know that they're in a relationship. And the priest's response was like, women are such seductresses.
Oh my
And
God,
this
automatically
is all
blaming
your
you.
fault. And I had to say like 10 Hail Marys.
Whoa.
So I think that's why I felt like nervous saying this now.
Oh my God. Okay.
But yeah, that did happen. And that's my only other romantic experience with a Sagittarius.
Jesus, I wonder what the priest's sign was.
Me too. I feel like if I had to guess, I would guess Aquarius. But I don't know.
Very, like, highly ethical.
Yeah.
And rigid in
Yeah.
their thinking.
Yeah.
But
That's so funny.
wow.
Yeah. I think I have someone that I can call.
Okay, then
I
call
think
them.
they dated a Sagittarius.
Okay.
But I need to confirm. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I have a random question for you.
And a random person in the background.
And a random person in the back.
Hello, nice to meet you in London.
I have to catch you up on my life, but basically I've started an astrology podcast.
Okay, love.
And I need to know if you've dated a Sagittarius before. Would you be open to sharing your experience? For this episode, we're just doing a deep dive on like Sagittarius season and Sagittariuses we've been romantically involved with. Amazing.
Yeah.
This is so cool. Okay,
Amazing.
go ahead.
Okay, so you have been romantically involved with a Sagittarius, correct?
Yes.
And you are what sign?
A Libra.
I knew that. I just needed the listeners to hear it from you.
The softness.
Okay, so how did you meet? How did it progress? And how did it end?
Wait, and what initially attracted you to that person?
That's a good one.
We matched on Hinge.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of the same interests, and by that I mean One Direction. And so we went on a first date to a bar, and our conversation was literally like, like back and forth. Like there was literally no break in the conversation, literally at any point.
Were you enjoying that?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I'm like. I'm a very like witty person, so like having someone who could like get it
Throw it back.
would be great. And so yeah, we were just there for like multiple hours just talking. And then we hooked up a couple times. And now she's one of my best friends.
Okay, so you went from exploring romantic possibilities to being best friends.
Yes, exactly.
And would you say that you are fond of Sagittariuses, or was this like, or is she a unique Sagittarius? Like, what's your relationship with the sign in general?
I feel like I love Sagittarius. I have some Sagittarius placements, so I feel like that brings out my Sagittarius side, which I love.
What are your Sag placements?
Venus and Mars.
Oh, amazing.
Oh.
That's
Sexual and romantic. Like.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Hello.
Hi, babe.
Hello.
Okay, questions for you. Can you confirm that you've dated a Sag?
I have dated 2 Sag.
Wow, lucky you. Have they rubbed their luck off onto you?
The first one was very fruitful. It was in college. And yes, both of them were great.
Okay, wait, what's your sign?
I'm a Leo.
Of course, you've had good experiences with Sag. That makes sense.
So you described one of your relationships with a Sagittarius as fruitful. What did you find fruitful about it? What did you enjoy about that relationship?
Very good communication. considerate.
Really? I guess when it comes to being with a Leo,
yeah, it was just very, dare I say, easy.
Makes sense. They tend to really worship the Leo. Did you feel worshipped in those relationships?
Yeah, I think maybe worship might be a bit.
He's hesitant.
It's a bit of a dramatic word.
I felt taken care of.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, and what initially attracted you to them?
First one, music taste. Second one, tattoos.
Ah.
Okay, can we go for maybe something a little bit more about their personality that might have also attracted you, in addition to the aesthetic that you mentioned?
With my girlfriend in college, we would talk for hours about anything from music, obviously was a big one that started everything, but politics and culture and food, and definitely wanted to bring it to life. So like we would talk about food, hey, let's go make that, or let's go have that.
Nice. She would initiate.
Yeah. But definitely like push like, hey, let's like live all the stuff that we're talking about, like let's make it reality.
Love that. Big thinker.
And then the second one, also, I think the first time we hung out, we spoke for like 3.5 hours.
This is literally what we just got from the person we called before you. This is so funny. Same thing, but talking for hours.
It was literally one of those actual moments where we looked at our phones and we're like, oh, it's 8 p.m.
Aww.
And we had like hung out like at 5 or something. So it was just really easy to talk to, and it was very fun.
Fun is a big one for sure. How did these end? Do you still have like contact with any of them?
My ex in college, we're cool. I mean, we speak like maybe once every 3 or 4 months, just here and there, just like a random check-in or like a happy birthday.
Yeah.
And then the other one, we are still very good friends. So
Yeah,
we talk persistent. We talk weekly.
Weekly.
Wow, really good friends. It's hard to end on a bad note with a Sag.
It's true. They're so
Hasn't
fun.
happened to me yet. Hasn't happened to me yet.
All right, well, we're happy to hear that. This is very heartwarming.
Yeah, they're very heartwarming people.
Okay. Have fun at your dinner. Thank you for chatting.
I gotta say something.
Yeah.
This is insane because I'm gonna be your third caller.
Please.
Okay. I just went on my first and last date with a Sag, not because it was negative. It went incredibly. I am not afraid. I just know in my gut that she will hurt me. It's not that I'm afraid. I'm like, I know I will end up hurt here. And it just won't be the right fit. But fuck, this was like one of the best first dates I've ever had. And guess what? 4.5 hours of talking. We both looked at our phones because we were shutting down the freaking lounge. And they're like, hey, last call. Hey,
get out.
Get out, basically. And it's so funny because she was like, oh my God, that was amazing. I can't believe we spoke for so many hours. And I thought to myself, I wonder if she has this effect on other people too. Or if it's just our synergy.
And now you're learning.
And I'm like, maybe she just has that effect. But yeah, very interesting. So I'm going to be the third person within like 30 minutes to say 4.5 hour conversations about everything.
Yeah.
And they just make you feel like you could talk to them.
Honestly,
about
I would agree with that too.
Yeah.
This is amazing, and this is why I wanted to introduce this segment and start this as a segment, because it's like you pick up on the patterns and then you start making the connections, and you're like, even things that I didn't know about Sagittarius before, like I wouldn't have said like talk for hours about anything.
I would say that's like a Gemini, like, chatty,
right.
like
yeah, and like it's there and it makes sense. Like now that it's come up, you look back and you're like, oh
yeah.
that makes sense.
Totally.
But it's not something that I would have like realized.
as like the leading factor
Yeah.
too, which was very, very interesting. Oh, it's making me miss her. Okay.
No.
Change the subject.
Hey man, I love my Sagittarius friends, and I also, a common theme is a lot of these people are still in touch with their Sagittarius.
It's hard to hate them, which was precisely why I couldn't go on a second date with them.
And maybe that's why I just had to reach out to my Sagittarius ex over the retrograde.
See, there you go. They're lovable.
I love him. I love him.
Yeah, well, all right.
That was pretty good.
That was really good.
We made some connections.
We sure did.
Okay, so to wrap up, why do we love our Sagittarius friends? Like one sentence. If you could sum it up in one sentence, what would you say?
They bring a jolt of joy into the world.
They do.
Like they're electrically positive.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I would say the spontaneity. Like, that's where they got me, and I can watch them forever and ever.
Yeah.
You know what?
Okay,
More than one
I'm
sentence.
sorry.
More
than one sentence.
I just remembered this. Okay, what you said about feeling like, oh, this person might, like, destroy me.
Yeah.
I also felt that way before going into the relationship.
That's
with my
why I
ex.
didn't. So, but yes,
But I
get
did.
You. Okay.
I said I want to play with the fire.
I did that when
and
I was
played
like
with the fire.
younger. But yeah.
But I remember now in one of the many conversations that I had with him before we even dated, I said, like, being around you and with you, like, I feel like I'm watching a fire, like staring into a flame. Have you ever done that?
That sounds so. Yes, I have.
Like,
and I love that feeling.
I love it.
It's like
so
all
mesmerizing.
It's all immersive. Like you can't see anything
You
else.
literally can't look away.
And it's better than looking into the at the ocean.
I mean, I love the ocean.
Okay, fine.
Also.
It's too.
I'm a Cancer, so
Okay,
don't
fine.
come for my water.
Sorry, it's too sleepy for me. Like the fire, I'm like, I'm mesmerized.
Yeah,
He's,
you don't even
magnetized.
blink. You're
No.
like, and that's how I felt around him.
That's a
and
really good
watching
way of
him
putting
and
it.
being around
That's
him,
like heat.
that's how
that's
it was.
chemistry. Yeah. There's like one more thing that's coming up that I want to say, but I don't know how to say it. That's like, I'm just gonna do like, what is it called? Expressive motions.
Yes.
Like this. A Sag for me is like,
Yeah.
that's it. That's a Sag.
Even the exhale, I feel like was important in
I
that.
swear, everybody needs at least one Sag in their life, and to talk to them once every 2 weeks. It's like it's a good dose.
Yeah, and to wrap up, I would just say all of that energy that a Sagittarius possesses during Sagittarius season, that's when we all get to feel that a
That
little
is
bit.
so true.
We all get to tap into that. So this is a great time for any like creative projects to come to life because you have the luck of Sagittarius on your side.
Mm-hmm.
And it's your moment to be spontaneous. Like
Totally.
book the trip after the
Totally.
retrograde when no one is going on a flight. Go and book the trip
Get
now.
ready.
Yeah.
Fire. Sorry,
All
I'm
the
like
things.
hype-manning you.
like
it goes.
Yeah. All the things that you always wanted to do, now is the time to do them.
That's it.
That's
Done.
it. That is where we're gonna end.
No, now I want to keep talking about how lovely they are.
They are. We
Wait,
could
they're
just
like-
gush and gush forever.
But honestly, I'm afraid that if I keep talking about how great they are, I'm going to contact this girl that I have like a very fatalistic draw to that will not be good for
Girl,
me.
our retrograde is over.
Okay,
so
then I won't do it.
It's not your time anymore.
Okay, fair.
The moment
Thank
has
you.
passed.
Okay, good.
We'll find out if she listened to my advice or if she actually contacted the Sagittarius.
No, I'm not into emotional masochism anymore. I'm done with
Good.
my North Node in the 7th house in Pisces. We'll talk about Pisces another day. All right.
Put
Good
down.
night. Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Have a great day,
Depending
depending
on
on
where
when
you are in the world.
or when this airs.
This is so saggy. They just can't stop talking. Look, we're channeling our
We're
inner
possessed
Sag.
by
We're-
the sign of Sagittarius.
The energy, we just can't. We can't fucking shake it.
We're
Okay.
so silly.
All
Thanks
right.
for listening to us yap.
Bye.
Bye.